Fredman Wilson trembled and said hurriedly, "Yes, I do." After finishing speaking, he immediately knocked his head and cried, "Grandpa! I was really wrong, please forgive me." Charlie frowned and asked him, "Who am I?" Fredman Wilson said with tears, "You are my grandfather." Charlie asked again, "Then who are you?" Fredman Wilson cried and choked, "I am your grandson." Charlie gave a hum, nodded, and said, "Okay, I am so young, and I am also a grandfather. If this is the case, then I will spare your life." Fredman Wilson finally breathed a sigh of relief, kowtowed again and again, and got up to leave. "Wait a minute." Charlie stopped him. "Just leave like that? Without asking?" Fredman Wilson endured the humiliation and anger in his heart, and respectfully said to Charlie, "Grandpa, can I go now?" Charlie patted his face and said lightly, "You can go, my dear grandson." Fredman Wilson shed tears of humiliation, then turned around and walked out tremblingly. Wendy didn't dare to delay and immediately followed out. When the two of them left, they were afraid that Charlie would stop them, trouble them again, but Charlie had no interest in talking to them. Fredman Wilson's lifeblood has lost his power, and for the rest of his life, he will be trapped in extreme pain and unable to extricate himself. After the two went out, Mr. Orville hurriedly stepped forward to salute Charlie and said respectfully, "Mr. Wade, I was late. It is my fault to let you waste your tongue and hands with this bunch of garbage yourself. Please punish me." Charlie waved his hand, not caring about these, but asked, "Why are you here? Isn't this a summit of the construction and decoration industry? Are you still in the decoration business?" "Yes." Orville smiled and replied, "Most of the cement yellow sand used in Orus Hill decoration is controlled by me. Speaking of which, I am also a big middleman in the decoration industry, so they also invited me as well." Charlie knows that in the decoration industry, there are plenty of dealers, which are all gray industries. Orville is mixed with society. It is normal to do some gray industries for him. So he nodded and said, "You, don't do anything harmful to the world and don't bully ordinary people." Orville hurriedly said, "I follow Mr. Charlie's teachings, I have already started to cleanse. How can I dare to do those harmful things again?" Charlie grumbled with satisfaction. Orville pointed to Fredman Wilson's 4 deposed bodyguards and asked, "Mr. Wade, what about these 4 people?" Charlie said, "Take the legs of the fainted guy and throw them away so that it won't affect my mood." Orville nodded immediately, and instructed the people around him, "Don't you follow Mr. Wade's instructions?" Everyone hurriedly bowed, "We will follow Mr. Wade's arrangement." After finishing speaking, the knee of the person who passed out first was also abolished, and then they dragged 4 dead dogs and took them straight out. Fredman Wilson could only drive by himself and drove Wendy to the hospital for treatment of her facial injuries, and then drove back to Wilson's villa. In the car, Fredman Wilson was in pain all over, and his heart was full of extreme indignation. Wendy gritted her teeth and said in hatred, "My dear Charlie, this rubbish, even dared to beat you. He is looking for death. You must not let this beast go." Fredman Wilson's face was dark, with cold eyes, gritted his teeth and said angrily, "Don't worry, I will kill him. Not only will I kill him, but I will also take his skin off. I'm so big. No one has dared to do this to me." Wendy was overjoyed. Her disgust towards Charlie had already reached a peak, and now Fredman Wilson had a murderous intention on him, and he would not live long if she wanted to. Wendy said coldly, "My dear, when you do it, you must remember to take me. I will torture him severely. I will watch this rubbish kneel and beg for mercy with my own eyes." Fredman Wilson slammed a fist on the back of the seat, and said angrily, "I will definitely thwart this waste." "Great." Wendy knew that Fredman Wilson's family had a lot of clout, and it would be so easy to kill Charlie. The reason why he met this fate today was mainly that the manpower he brought was not enough. If he had brought dozens of people over next time, would Charlie still survive? By then, Charlie will undoubtedly die. Thinking of this, she had already experienced a burst of excitement in advance of revenge. She couldn't help but looked at Fredman Wilson, and said delicately, "My dear, this Charlie will be killed by you sooner or later, so you don't need to be too angry now, lest you hurt your body." After speaking, she immediately gave a wink and said in a numb voice, "When we go home, I will take care of you."